Hello, and welcome to my podcast, Moving and Listening. In this podcast, you will find two things. Number one, guided movement sessions, and number two, a talking format. The movement sessions will have always two parts. At the beginning, just a few minutes, something for you to arrive, a grounding. And then something not longer than 10 minutes I call floating, where I will guide you through that you can get into motion and, if you want, even into bigger movements in space. The talking format will be just me talking, or together with someone I will invite about something I'm interested in or what is on my mind and could be interesting for you as well. There will be episodes in German and in English. You will find the indication in each episode's title. My name is Mathis Kleinschüttger. I'm a dancer and choreographer, coach and trainer, and also the developer of embodied communication practice. Enjoy! Before you start, for the first part of grounding, you will only need a spot where you can stand or sit. And if you want to continue with the floating part, you should make some space around you for bigger movements. So clear the floor from chairs, objects, or other possible traps. And better, no low-hanging lamps above you. Great, let's start. For today's grounding exercise, we do a simple balancing exercise in a standing position. So just choose a spot where you have a little bit of space around you and just find a position on both of your feet and just relax your knees a tiny bit. And as a first moment, just take a second to think of your feet, of the soles of your feet and how they are connected with the ground. And these are kind of your roots. If you think of your whole body, then this is the connection to the ground and into the ground. Your weight is falling through your heels, through your soles of your feet into the ground. And just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then slowly shift your weight onto your right leg. And you will feel there's no weight on your left anymore, and then lift your left foot into the air. And you can decide how far you want to lift. It can be just a centimeter off ground or higher, however you can and want. And if this is already a nice challenge for you, just keep breathing. Try to breathe regularly in and out. And if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can use this left free leg and just start moving it gently, a bit to the front, to the back, to the sides. Change the height of the thigh and the lower leg so that your right leg has to react to keep the balance, that you're not falling. Very good. And then bring your left foot back to the ground and shift the weight on both of your feet. So in the center, take a deep breath in and out. And then slowly shift the weight to your left leg until your right foot feels free and you can lift it off. Keep your standing leg in this moment right now, it's the left one, a tiny bit bent. It helps you to keep the balance actually. And here the same thing. You decide how far you want to lift your right foot off ground. And if you just keep it like this, or if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more with moving your right foot and leg a little bit around. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Very good. Nice. And then slowly bring your right foot back to the ground. And then make this shift of your weight. It's shared between right and left foot. And also here, a deep breath in and out. And we do another time onto the right leg. Shift the weight until your left foot is free. Do this all very slow so you can really follow all the steps. And then when your left foot is free, you lift it off the ground. And you decide what to do with this left leg in the air. Also here, keep the right knee a tiny little bit bent. Keep your breath flowing in and out regularly. And either you just hold your left leg or you move it a little bit around. Keep breathing. Very nice. And then bring your left foot back to the ground and bring your weight into the center between right and left, shared between both. Take a deep breath in and out. And one last time we shift to our left leg until the right leg foot is free, lift it off the ground. Either hold it or move it. Keep breathing in and out. Keep your left knee a tiny little bit bent. Keep breathing. Very nice. You're doing great. And bring your right foot back to the ground. Slowly shift your weight into the center. So right and left foot, they are sharing the weight. And again, shift your attention to the soles of your feet. Feel the connection of your soles of your feet to the ground. Keep your knees a tiny bit bent. The rest of your spine is upright. Have a tiny moment. What are you seeing through your eyes? What are you seeing? And then in the same time, you realize what you're actually seeing. Maybe it's a wall, maybe it's a tree, maybe it's a color. You keep the focus also to the feet and the connection to the ground. Take a deep breath in and out. And then just very gently let the focus go. And also you can move a little bit, shake your limbs if you want to. That is the grounding for today. Yeah, floating. Great. So for the people who know this podcast already, we will do a little warm up before we do the floating. For the new ones, exactly, we do just a short warm up together. So just find a standing position somewhere. And when you're standing, also bend your knees a tiny bit so your pelvis can kind of be relaxed and hang down, and in the same time you keep the spine upright. And then just take your shoulders and roll your shoulders from the front to the back and do it very slowly. Rather try to do this shoulder roll as big as you can, but very slow so that the muscles really have to work. Right, and you can connect it with the breathing, like breathe in, take your shoulders up from the front to the ears, and in the breathing out, you roll them over your back, down, and so on. Just do one or two more. And then change the direction. So breathing in, roll your shoulders over the back to up to the ears, and the breathing out down over the front. Great. Two more. Yeah, great. And then keep this position of the knees slightly bent. Think of your feet as the roots into the ground. So keep your feet really grounded into the floor. And then just start, let your arms just hang down and just start a little bit in a rotation from right to left from your pelvis. So your arms will fly gently from right to left. So it's just a tiny little soft rotation in your spine and in your hips and your shoulders, and maybe your head is also a tiny bit rotating. All very soft, nothing forced, nothing crazy. Yeah, great. Okay, and then let it drop and take your feet like a wider spread position, so they're much wider than your hip sockets. And just do a circle of your pelvis on the horizontal plane, just like a hula hoop, but in very slow. Very simple. Hip circle. Great. And other direction. Nice. Then bring your feet together so they actually touch each other. So the insides of your feet touch each other, and also your knees are kind of together. And bend your knees so that that you can put your hands on your kneecaps, and then start circling the knees also on a horizontal plane, and also relax your ankles so they can also move with this whole movement. They don't need to stay. That also means that your feet might not fully stay on the ground. They can wobble from right to left. That's fine. Great. And change the direction. Yes, amazing. Yeah. Very nice. Then come up in a standing position again and just shake your arms and your legs a bit. And just nods with your head a yes, and gently shake a no with your head. So also the vertebrae and the upper spine get a bit of rotation. Amazing. Great. So if you need more warm-up, if you need push-ups or burpees or whatever you want, or running on the spot to get a bit more heat in your body, then just press stop and then come back. And everyone else, we will continue. So we will work with the image of bubbles today. Bubbles are amazing. It takes me back to childhood, but still one can see them every day, nearly every day somewhere. You can blow bubbles. You find them in the bathtub sometimes, or when you do the dishes. They come in so many sizes and sometimes also different shapes. Usually they're kind of round, but yeah, from the tiniest in the sink of your dishes until these people who make these huge bubbles where you can even, a full human being can be inside of one of these bubbles. And the other magic is they are transparent. You can look through, and at the same time there is this shimmering rainbow colored color scheme you can also see, especially of course if the sun is shining or there's some light. And so as a first image, you find a spot wherever you are in the space where you feel comfortable, and you just imagine that your body, the outside, like the whole skin of your body, is one bubble. And we can increase the bubble and decrease the bubble with just the imagination that we can, with our breath, with in and out, we can increase and decrease the size of the bubble, even though, of course, our body shape itself can't move too much and increase too much, but in your imagination, just let it go really much further. So think of when you inhale that your body could expand in a way that it really becomes really, really big and maybe fills the whole room you're in, or is just much bigger than it can be in the reality. So let your imagination just take over. So just start with this, like using your breath, and let your imagination follow that with this breath we blow up our bubble body, and when we breathe out we can also let the air out of this bubble, out of the body, become much smaller. And try to not force your breath too strong. You can breathe quite normal and gently, but just use it as the starting point of the imagination, that this is kind of the starting point of this increasing or decreasing bubble movement of your body. And then just observe what happens. Like, do you like, how do you feel how your body is expanding? Do you feel your ribs or your shoulders lifting when you increase the bubble size? Where do you feel it when the air goes out and your bubble body feeling like deflates a bit more? And then you can also, and it can be any body part, use other body parts, like maybe your shoulders or your elbows or your arms or your feet want to accompany this movement of the increasing of the bubble, and also the decreasing of the bubble. And now even consciously also use the idea to also that the legs, the feet get involved in this like increasing, decreasing movement. And by this they also lift off the ground. Doesn't have to be very high or big, but this makes that also your bubble body starts to move in space. Doesn't have to be huge steps or big, but just so that the bubble starts to move through space. So it's not only this increasing, decreasing size of your bubble body, but this bubble starts to also move through space. Yeah, great. Amazing. And feel free to expand even stronger. It's all imagination, so your body doesn't need to, in any second, need to represent a round bubble shape. You just think that the whole surface of your skin is the surface of the bubble. So your bubble has an amazing shape, the shape your body has. And it just can expand and get smaller again. And then also start keeping doing this. Start to think of not only the lungs and the breath itself, but maybe you can expand a part of the bubble because you do expand your ribs to one side, or an arm or a hand or a finger or a leg or a foot. And just keep this idea of increasing and decreasing size through the breath. And in the same time you start moving through space in all kinds of ways. Let's just follow your imagination. If your elbow wants to try to do some things to increase the bubble on the right side or left side or wherever, just let it happen. It's just playing with his idea. Yeah. And then add the idea that there are also other bubbles around you, so you're not the only bubble in the space where you are, wherever you are. And these are very gentle, friendly, playful bubbles. And just use this idea that these bubbles also are quite strong in the way that if you bump into each other, it's more like a bouncing off each other instead of that they explode and disappear. So they're quite strong bubbles, and you see the bubbles wherever they are. Maybe there comes a bubble from the back and it pushes you, so you might need to use the energy of catching yourself by walking a few steps to the front and so on. So it's a kind of a friendly, well, one could say play fight. Like all these bubbles having fun, just bumping into each other. And this creates movement in the space. So they move you around because they bump into you, and that creates a direction of your body. And in the same time, you try to bump into other bubbles and push them in a different direction. Yes, great. Yeah, so you can start playing with speed, different speeds, and different strength, how strong you want to bump into other bubbles. And in the same time, also think of different body parts of your own body with which you want to bump into another imaginary bubble. Yeah, maybe it's your bum going to the right to bump into the neighbor bubble on your right side, and so on. So keep playing with very different body parts, being responsible for the initiation of bumping into a different bubble. And imagine these bubbles all around you, also beneath you and above you. So there's a 360-degree possibility of bubbles, big bubbles, small bubbles around. And just have said that, like, imagine very different sizes of bubble. Maybe it's a very tiny one and you can just flick it away with your hand or with your left foot or with your ear. And maybe it's a big bubble like you are, and it's more like a really quite strong bumping into each other, bouncing off. So also use this very different size idea. And still, even maybe if it gets stronger and a little bit more force, they're all friendly and nice, and it's really playful. Yes, great. And you choose also how quick and how slow you want to move and go. So try different speeds. And also really let yourself be surprised by a bubble bumping into you. Maybe you didn't see that coming. And suddenly it bumps you to the left side and you really need to catch yourself not falling. And so on. So just, yeah, very good. Exactly. Just play with it in your own way. And of course, by the way, you can also, maybe you are falling, maybe you are on the ground. You can do this sitting in the same time. You move as a sitting, rolling bubble on the ground, bouncing and bumping with other bubbles. Yes. Great. Amazing. So just let's have 10 last seconds enjoying this room full of bubbles, a bubble bath. playing with each other. Okay. 5 last seconds. Amazing. And then with one ping, all the other bubbles around you disappear. And you're still there. And with another ping, also let this idea that you're a bubble go, and you just go back to the realization of your body as a human body shape. And just move, keep moving a little bit, just very gently floating around, lifting your arms, lifting your legs, very soft. Great. Relax your joints. Use the possible rotations in your joints and the spine, in the vertebrae, in your knees, in your wrists, in your fingers, in your toes, in your feet, in your pelvis, your neck. Great. And then slow down this already slow movement and kind of stay in one position. You still do a little bit of micro movement, but you find a spot where you stop moving through space and just let the whole body have a little after swinging, just a very small, gentle pelvis movements. Maybe the arms are still a little bit moving. And then just let this also fade out slowly. And then close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. And take a little imaginary journey moment. Think again of yourself, of your body as within a big bubble. So you're surrounded by a bubble. And this bubble can float and fly. And you get carried away from the spot you're at the moment. You can fly high, you can see the ground, you can see other people down there. Sun is shining. You can even sit in your bubble. It's transparent, you can see, but it's strong. It holds you. And slowly the bubble comes down to the ground again. And it lands and stops exactly where you are standing right now. And with another ping, this bubble around you disappears. And you open your eyes and just have a look around after this whole journey in and as a bubble and surrounded by bubbles. You're back to where you are right now. Have a beautiful day.